in the industry 14 years ago. I was a very newly single mother. I think I had maybe been in the industry for 1 or 2 weeks when I made that decision. There actually wasn't an educational requirement when I first got into the industry. You just had to find a broker that was willing to take you on, and that was it. We're definitely not the same now. There's an education requirement in order to get into the industry, and then we have mandatory continuing ed classes that we have to take, a certain number per year, a certain number of classroom hours. And then on top of that, we have to take a relicensing course every 2 years. So it's changed quite a bit for the better. Better advice, better service. When I first got into the industry, rates were up around 7.5%. And even then, it kind of didn't faze me or my clients at that point. I was still capable of saving people money when we were doing refinances. So I can't say that the rate changes made a drastic difference. We've had it really good for the past few years. I've seen rates as low as 1.85, 1.9% on a variable rate. We went through a significant period of time where we had fixed rates for a 5-year term in the low 2%. And we see those creeping up again, but overall I don't think that it's going to make a huge difference. Wow, the changes to the guidelines have actually been pretty drastic. So when I first got into the industry, we had 35-year amortizations. You could refinance up to 95% of your property value, and you could finance 103% of your purchase price. Today, you absolutely cannot do that. You can refinance up to 80% of your property value, higher if you're going to use a private mortgage, but that's a little bit different. You can't finance 103%, you can finance 95%. You can use a cashback program to get you to 100%, but the requirements for that are pretty strict. Not impossible, but still there. We saw amortizations of 35 years on every product 14 years ago. Today, not the case. If you're not putting down more than 20%, you're stuck to a 25-year amortization. If you're putting down more than 25%, we've got a couple lenders that'll go as high as 35-year AMs, but typically not higher than 30 years. So quite the change there. That makes a difference. Day-to-day life has changed. When I first got into the industry, I was a single mom and worked from home. My daughter was 4 months old, roughly. And I worked when she napped, which luckily she's always been a good sleeper. So she'd nap for 2 hours, be up for 2 hours, nap for 2 hours. I would work while she was napping. We would play when she was up. That way I didn't have to pay for daycare, which wasn't really an option at the time. And now my daughter is in high school. My workday starts at about 7:45 with some admin stuff. I like to have all of that kind of wrapped up before 9 o'clock when the rest of the office opens. And I'm going to say I'm working anywhere from 12-hour days to 16-hour days in the summer. I'm anywhere from 5 to 6 days a week. And business is busy. It's awesome. It's definitely seeing the stress relief on my client's face. They walk in here sometimes, they're crying, they're upset that life has put them in the situation that they're in, and they don't know where else to turn. And when they leave, they just have relief on their face. They're happy that there's someone that's alleviated that stress. I'm able to show them how we can put cash back in their pocket. Or maybe they're separating and I'm able to walk them through that process and let them know that, you know what, it's stressful now, but it's not going to be that way forever. Everything happens for a positive reason, and I just love that they leave here so happy. It's what wakes me up in the morning. There are definitely frustrating moments in the industry. Underwriting can sometimes get delayed. I work with a great team of underwriters across multiple different lenders, but I mean, everybody gets backed up. They have holidays, people are off sick, So that can be frustrating. Documents get lost sometimes. We send them, they don't receive them, or it wasn't read properly. So that can be stressful, especially if you're playing beat the clock and you're down to the wire. We have a pretty clear policy in the office that documents have to be in at least 10 days prior to closing, and sometimes those documents are delayed from the client, so that can cause a delay, or we ask for them and don't get a response back, and we have to ask for those a couple times. So yeah, there are frustrating moments for sure. I would say be prepared to work. I hear so many times that people want to be self-employed so that they can have weekends off and go golfing in the summer and, live the high life. And self-employed is simply not that. Be prepared to work evenings and weekends. You need to be there when your clients are available. Being self-employed is absolutely not about you. It's 110% about working around your client's schedule. So I would say, don't be a secret agent. You need to tell everybody out there what it is that you do. Hand out business cards. You should be no less than 10 a day. Take 10 business cards with you in the morning and make it a rule that you don't go home until they've been handed out, and not all to the same one person. Just get out there and be prepared to hustle. I think I would. I was in law school prior to getting into this industry, and I've always been really good with money. So, I went to law school because I wanted to help people, and this path has just kind of been like the perfect mix of that. I can help people, and I can show them something that I'm good at as well. When I was a single mom and my daughter was, young, it was great because I worked on my time. I still made good money and I was able to provide for us, but I was able to be there for my daughter. So I guess I could say it allowed me to both be the mom and the dad in the house, just being one person. Where do I see myself in 10 years? That's a good question. Probably sitting at my desk, doing the same thing that I'm doing now. I really love what I'm doing. So for me, it's not work. I like waking up every day and being there. I like helping my agents get their businesses up and going, and I want to see them be successful. 10 years from now, yeah, I think that's it. I don't see any major changes. Maybe I'll buy an ATV. It's better advice.